One of the things I would say is just in terms of what type of foreign policy choices that you can make, I think you can pursue potentially a more enlightened foreign policy. And we were just discussing this before we got on the stage. I have Nigeria on the mind because I just called their elections today. But I remembered in 2003 being an analyst working for David Gordon on the Nigerian elections. And we took 10% of our imports from Nigeria, about 850,000 barrels. It was 40% of the feedstock for East Coast refineries. And they had an election which was less than charming. And there was a lot of discussion about what do you do about this situation. And I think the fact that we saw them as an important energy partners, particularly post 9/11, when we were no domestic energy revolution, but we wanted to wean ourselves off of potentially Middle East oil, so we wanted other suppliers. We kind of made a decision to go lightly on them in terms of the election. And there was, a sense that we needed them maybe more than they needed us. And so I fast forward to this past election, and you had a very strong statement from John Kerry, Phil Hammond yesterday saying, look, we've got word that you're trying to rig this result. We're watching you, don't do it. And I think that had a real effect in terms of the government, the willingness of the Electoral Commission to call it fairly. And I think that is something where the fact that we no longer take imports from Nigeria, we no longer believe that we need them more than they need us, allowed us to have a more enlightened policy in terms of dealing with these countries.
An enlightened and perhaps more muscular foreign policy.
And actually better for stability overall in terms of the country.